want the whole world to know about my I love you, and I'll never try to hurt you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true, 'cause you're my.
I grew up in Corozal town. I am one of 6 children of a family whose only income was that of my dad, who was a worker at the Tower Hill sugar factory. But apart from being the oldest one in the family, I was the one who motivated the guys, the kids in the block, to let us try to find a pitch where we can play soccer. But apart from plays and games, I saw myself having to do chores when I arrived from school in the afternoon, like cutting wood, filling buckets of water, also making sure that we had some pigs. We made a sty, and we grew some pigs, so that after a period of time my dad would sell them, and that would bring in some income for us also. Okay, school on a whole, it was something that my dad saw as a priority. Priority because being the oldest, I had to show the steps ahead for the rest. Every evening whenever he came from work, or whenever he had time on weekends, he would sit along with me and he would pick up a book and read for me. I would sit right beside him, listen to how he read, listen to how he recited poems, because he loved poems, and therefore this, he brought it up and encouraging me, involving me into certain aspects of his recitings, and he would bring up and say, "Son, it's important that you realize that if you study, nobody will be able to tell you this is a B whenever it is an A." As a youth, within the youth group, I saw the need for the assistance of the other children within the youth group, because I noticed that some of them were not that comfortable when it comes to reading or picking up a book and read as how they would want to read. I knew that with the skills that my dad had taught me, I could incorporate those into finding means and ways how to assist these children or these other youths much faster and with better result. Becoming a teacher is something that is born within.
I first met Mr. Acosta when I was in Standard 1 while attending St. Francis Xavier Primary School. I could tell from his lessons daily that he was passionate about what he did. He always took an extra step to make sure his students understood the lesson, and he took it beyond just understanding what he was teaching, but made sure that he had a personal interaction with each of his students in that class.
Like, teaching in me was more like being able to be the guide to help whosoever needed the help. I don't give up on one child.
Even though there were students that were slower than others, that learned differently, he always took the time out to study that child and made sure he understood how he or she learns and bring that to them personally so they could understand the lesson.
I was so excited when, after a period of time, I noticed a few of the ex-students that I once had meeting me on the street at a corner here in Belize City. When at the beginning, they weren't from Belize City. They were from Corozal. A group of them met me at a corner here in Belize City, and they approached me and asked me, "Mr. Acosta, do you remember us?" With so much dismay, I looked at them and I said, "No, I don't." "Sir, but you taught us in school. You taught us in school. Don't you remember? I was the stubborn one in class. I was the one who didn't want to read. I was the one who didn't want to finish his work. She was the one that always get up from her chair. You don't remember that?" Oh, okay. I think I do now. That was a great moment that until today I cherish. A sad moment I can recall is when a child was taken out of my class simply because his parents had a conflict, internal conflict. And because the mom was not from Belize, she decided to take the child even though the child was already performing to a higher level than what they both thought of their child to be able to accomplish. That made me feel bad because a couple years after, I saw that child, and I didn't saw a child in a high school. I saw her on the street begging for food. I can do more if I put more. They will learn more if I involve them more. It's important to realize that a child learns more whenever he or she is involved.
I want to thank Mr. Acosta for the lessons he taught me that went beyond his lesson plan, that went beyond phonics, reading, science, math. He taught me how to believe in myself. He taught me how to pursue whatever it is that I wanted to pursue. And I do believe that some teachers, or the best teachers, are born teachers. They have a passion for what they do. They have a love for what they do, and that's what makes them the best teachers in our country. And I do believe that Mr. Acosta falls under that category.
And I'll never try to hurt you.